Here, the Battle of Park Lane. Thousands of demonstrators protesting about the Criminal Justice Bill have fought running battles with police in central London. The government's Criminal Justice Bill has ended in a riot in central London. Demonstrators threw missiles and CS gas at the police, and a bus stand was demolished when some protesters refused to disperse. There were 26 arrests and 25 people were injured, including 8 police officers. Tens of thousands had earlier taken part in a peaceful march and rally organised by civil rights campaigners. Among the bill's most controversial proposals are measures which would change a suspect's right to silence. A new offence of aggravated trespass would give police new powers over raves and New Age travellers and criminalise the activities of campaigners against blood sports.
After the breakup of the demonstration, thousands of young people stayed behind, dancing and playing music. In Hyde Park, they were told to move, and confrontation with the police quickly followed. The worst violence was in Park Lane. Young people crowded behind the park railings, threw rocks, bottles and sticks at the police, who charged dozens of times. A number of people were arrested and several were hurt. This went on for more than 2 hours. As the light faded, more police were brought in, more missiles were hurled, and there were more charges. Eventually, the police pulled back. They waited, listening to the taunts of the crowd. Eventually, Hyde Park was cleared. The organisers of the march blamed the police for provoking trouble, but this was firmly denied.
Police did not provoke this. The same people provoke this as provoke it on every occasion in London. We actually tried every time to actually stop it, and you can actually hear the sort of people that are here now.
It's been the biggest and, at its end, the most confrontational demonstration in Britain for a long time. For most of the day, though, it had passed off peacefully and in good humour. Joe Paley, BBC News at Hyde Park.
Good evening, this is ITN. The headlines. Formidable forces gather in Kuwait. Iraq says it wants a diplomatic solution. Violence erupts as thousands protest against new criminal justice laws. And the final clash with police during a mass demonstration in central London. They were marching against the new Criminal Justice Bill, which they say will erode civil liberties. Violence came during a rally in Hyde Park. Demonstrators threw missiles and CS gas as mounted police tried to disperse them. 26 people were arrested, 17 demonstrators and 11 police officers were injured.
The violence broke out at the end of the march. Demonstrators took part in pitched battles with police in Park Lane, beside some of the capital's most exclusive hotels. The protest against the Criminal Justice Bill turned into an all-out battle between police officers and about 2,000 of the marchers. Bricks, bottles and bins were thrown at the police, who responded by charging at the crowd to try and disperse the protesters. A number of police officers were injured in the fighting, which followed a largely peaceful procession through the centre of London. The officer in charge of the police operation says trouble started when police tried to stop a group of demonstrators from taking a sound system into Hyde Park.
There was no need for this disorder. The disorder was provoked by that group of people who always come on these demonstrations, who seek to confront police, who actually are anarchists and actually aren't interested in the rule of law.
The bill has to go. I think that's the reason why people are demonstrating. I think the government have some responsibility for what happens because they attack people. And I think what we have to remember is that this bill has to be thrown away because of an attack on all our rights.
A senior policeman said tonight that 11 of his officers are being treated in hospital. Detectives will now try and identify the ringleaders of the violence, who they believe were members of an anarchist group. James Bays, ITN, Central London.